Witness tomorrow, they will be in the prized top 8 going into that last weekend. Fantastic end to the season, more to come. If it's been good so far and you've enjoyed it, don't worry, it ramps up even more as we get into the playoffs, and in a month's time we'll know who's off to Old Trafford. Foster gets this second half underway. Gale tips the ball inside to Manu Kofoa. And 40 minutes for Bradford to set the agenda, really, for their playoff ambitions. It's Chev Walker playing the ball. Here comes Hargreaves. Let's get the half-time news. Graham Beecroft's got all the details.
Yes, well, as far as Bradford are concerned, of course, they've got to improve, and Carl Price is still struggling. He's got his ribs strapped, and he isn't comfortable at all. As far as the whole side is concerned, Ryan McGoldrick has got his arm in a sling. He's dislocated his shoulder. They've put it back in. He wants to carry on playing, but Peter Gentle says no way. He was disappointed, though, the coach, with the last 10 minutes. He said, we're better than that. We've got to improve on that. So look out for that in the second half.
Thanks, Graham. Foster collects the deep kick downfield near his own line. He must be happier than he was a fortnight ago, though, Peter Gentle. A minute of this second half gone.
Well, his team have put themselves into a very strong position, not just to win this game, but to, I think, resurrect what was potentially a disappointing end to 2012. You know, they've had that many changes in personnel on the field throughout the season that it's virtually a different team or squad to the one that started the year, but they've got enough players with enough potential to pull off an upset in the playoffs if they can continue to play to the full potential.
Interesting call from Ryan McGoldrick. Dislocated shoulder put back in, wants to carry on. You would think that he wouldn't be figuring in the playoffs, wouldn't you?
Well, if he's dislocated several times before, then sometimes players do play on, but generally speaking, players do need that to be operated on, and that's several months of a rehab.
Seymour with the kick all along the ground, bounces somewhat kindly in the end for Carney. Here is Ainscough. They need something from Ainscough. 47 tries so far in his career in 59 appearances in his 4-club career in the Super League. Carney again. Westerman hunts him down.
Getting back to the Ryan McGoldrick situation, it's good work there by Peter Gentle, the coach. When you've got a lead of 28 points to 6, there's just no point in trying to injure that shoulder even further.
Good offload. Here comes Ellimer. Gets the ball wide. Another good offload. Ainscough. It was well done by Whitehead, that.
So eager, though, aren't they? The black and whites. They really have up the tempo.
As though his arm is trapped, says the referee. Briscoe's arm was trapped underneath Sean Ainscough. That's why he's given benefit of the doubt. Bradford looking to move the ball wide here. It's a decent little run. Decent little run from Alberson. They go down that left channel again. Jeffries dabs the ball over the top and out.
On the cross.
Out on the full.
Well, that surprised me. The little chip over the top really wasn't on. It should have been belted right into the corner.
It was a slice, wasn't it?
Yeah, miskicked it. He's furious with himself.
The dynamics of Ben Jeffries' game has been changed by that one moment in the first half when he was dispatched to the sin bin by Ben Thaler.
Well, he'll be crucial, Eddie, if Bradford are going to get themselves back into this game. We saw a glimpse of what they might need to do is move the ball a little more. It's a very, very enthusiastic whole defence. If you run straight at them tonight, they're going to bash you, and they don't look like they're going to miss many tackles. Out wide, that might be a different story. It's time that Bradford tried that angle.
Lovely run again from Houghton. Great ball out the back door as well. It's back with Seymour. Here is Horn. And they've got them. Oh, a lovely run from Horn. He's got support inside him. Herrenmeyer over the line for Hull FC. And that could be Hull's night here at Odsal. Aaron Herrenmeyer playing at scrum half here tonight. The New Zealand international just one time in his career. Former junior Kiwi. It's his 10th appearance in a row. He missed the first 17 games of 2012. And what a difference he's made to this side, operating at scrum half tonight. And that is Aaron Herrenmeyer's third try of the campaign.
And again, beautiful support play. Good work by Danny Houghton there on the blind, got it away. Then they get it out wide onto that left-hand side. In and out by Richard Horn. And even by his standards, he would have looked and say, what a huge gap that is. Great work by the hooker to keep this alive, and you can see the spread in defence. Some of the Bradford players hanging back. One's gone out of it, left a huge gap back on the inside. Classic try. Jeremiah plonks it down.
Jeremiah plonks it, and Jamie Foster is about to plonk it over the crossbar, which he does with ease. 34 points to 6. There can surely be no comeback for Bradford now, or can there?
Well, it's going to be difficult for them, that is for sure. And this next 10 minutes is going to really show up whether Bradford have got the guts, determination, but the way that Hull are keeping this ball alive. But the in and out there by Richard Horn, he turned the clock back several years, did Richard on that occasion, and great support play there by Jeremiah.
Well, Wakefield will know that they have to take on Widnes tomorrow night live on Sky Sports. They've won 5 in a row. If they can make it 6, they enter the top 8 positions, and then it will be in their own hands. They will go to Salford next weekend. But Widnes, they have an agenda all of their own, because they've had a fantastic first year back in Super League, even though they're sitting at the foot of the table. 6 wins. If they could make it 7 at Wakefield tomorrow night, they could easily keep off the foot of the table come the end of the season, and that would be a triumph in itself for the Vikings. So there's lots to play for tomorrow. This is Westerman.
Well,
Wakefield for the playoffs, Widnes to avoid the foot of the table. Stakes are high tomorrow night.
Certainly is, a lot to play for, as you say. Oh, this will be try time.
It will. Crooks has got support from Briscoe, who scores. And Bradford have to go to Catalan next week, and their destiny now does not rest in their own hands if Wakefield win tomorrow.
Well, when it sticks, and I tell you what, that's brilliant play. They've all of a sudden refound their confidence, and this is a wonderful kick. You see several teams do it. Leeds like to do it with Kevin Sinfield. A shorter kick for the winger as it's spun out wide, 2 passes, then chipped over. You know that the defending winger's sat back. It bounces awkwardly off Ainscore's knee, and that's classic centre play. Commit the fullback and put the pass instantly in front of the hands for the winger, Tom Briscoe.
And another error is chalked up on the Bradford side. Really, Ainscore should have gone for the ball. He allowed it to bounce. You're always going to be in Disneyland if you do that. You're nowhere to be seen. Soon as it bounced away, he couldn't hold it. Good work by Ben Crooks. Came in at the last moment to take over from Kirk Yeaman. And he's had a good night. And he was a provider for this fella, Tom Briscoe, who I must say feels a lot happier playing out on his normal position on the wing. A fortnight ago, they experimented with dropping him back to full back. He had a shocker. He certainly repaid his coach, Peter Gentle, for the ability to put him back in his normal position. Can this fella add the extras?
Foster just pulls it the wrong side of the uprights. But 38 points to 6. It was billed as the big party for Bradford to celebrate the new ownership, to give themselves a leg up into the playoffs. But Hull have come here and they have ruined the party. Last home game at Odsal, and Hull are flying high.
Yeah, should have gone for it, tried to take it on the full, didn't. Crooks, very good. The support play by the visitors tonight. Peter Gentle, their coach, will be over the moon with the way that they've just backed up. You saw that, remember, when they forced a knock on just before half-time, they celebrated as though they'd won the premiership.
Well, he sounded at the interview at the end of the last game like he was going to give his team a roasting. It's not a pretty scoreline for Bradford at the moment, far from it, but it could get very, very ugly tonight. I haven't seen anything from the Bradford Bulls, a team who had better season so far going into this game than their opposition tonight with 14 wins as opposed to 13 wins. Well, they've been abject tonight. It's a verb used to describe the whole performance by their coach, Peter Gentle. Well, I think Mick Potter could find a similar one tonight.
Well, Bradford no, but for the 6-point deduction.
Ooh, that looked a little bit tasty. And I'm not surprised they don't like it, no. Westerman didn't need to...
And Seymour's got a cut on the forehead. Well,
that's dangerous.
That is dangerous.
How can you not give that a penalty? I'm not wanting to criticise the referee unnecessarily, but you can see the legs pointing to the sky.
Well, has he not given a penalty?
No, he hadn't. He hadn't given a penalty.
He will now, I think.
Yeah, but he shouldn't be because there was a fight.
I'm not arguing, Phil. I'm with you.
Sorry.
Calm down.
In the middle of all that, I was just going to say, but for the 6-point deduction, Bradford would be 5th tonight in a place and a point better off than Hull on the league table. But that is definitely a dangerous throw by Seymour. We could hear more about it.
Right, so we're giving a penalty because he's in his back, we're lifting him into a dangerous position. Okay, and then we've got lashing out. Right, lashing out. Okay, right, come here. The lift. Come here. Seymour, where is he? I want to word him.
Well, Brett Seymour is being patched up by the physio.
Yeah, no,
That's more dangerous than a shoulder charge. We all get carried away by shoulder charge. I don't think Ben Clutch should start throwing punches at Brett Seymour.
I know he's landed on his back. Okay, but you've lifted him, put him in a dangerous position. That's what the penalty's for. I'm going to have a word with that guy as well. Okay, but no, listen to me. Take him over there.
What, come on, good tackle?
No, you put him in a dangerous position if you listen to me. No.
Brett Seymour saying it was a good tackle when the legs at 90 degrees to the ground indicates it wasn't, Brett. And then we got all this.
Yeah, Crook slashes out.
Back on.
Joe Westerman just the peacemaker whilst that goes on.
Halfway, boys!
We got there in the end, didn't we? Penalty now. And can Bradford show something this last half an hour of this game? Show that they mean to do something in the playoffs. They mean to get into the playoffs and do something.
I'm with you, Brian, mainly due to the faithful fans here at Odsal. They really have got behind their team, and they've displayed a lot of courage, haven't they? It's amazing. The day that they announced virtually that they've got new owners, they come up with their worst display for a long, long time. They're disgruntled.
And a knock-on by Gale doesn't help.
You just get that feeling, wasn't it? You see how he just took his eyes off the ball again, looking at what the oncoming traffic is.
Thing is, they've been battling adversity, this team, haven't they, for it seems like months now.
It's 5 months, Eddie. They've been on death row for 5 months waiting for a decision.
And maybe they've just had a sigh of relief over the past 24 hours. And maybe, maybe the guards just dropped. I don't know. I'm trying to make excuses for them. But you can't make excuses when you don't get off the player that's grounded.
You know what, you have a bad day at the office. We do in every walk of life, and sport's no different. And it gets highlighted, it gets put on television, and you drop a ball that you would usually catch, and that's it. It's there for everybody to see, and perhaps that's what Bradford are having a bad day at the office. And like I say, remember, they've gone into this game with 14 wins, a better record than Hull FC, but this night so far it's all about the black and whites, or the black and greys.
But suddenly it's come up here for Kopczak and Bradford. Mistake by Horn. Jeffries, Alberson, big hit by Briscoe, that. What a hit by Tom Briscoe.
Was it ever? Look at Westerman bouncing around. Look at the entire team.
Oh, Alberson didn't see him coming.
No, came on the blind side. Well, you're talking about the Bradford Bulls. They've been on death row, as you mentioned there, Phil, but when you look at the scoreline, 38-6, that's nearly a life sentence, isn't it? They've had the reprieve, but boy, they've been out of sorts tonight. So many errors, so many missed tackles.
Big crowd for following Bradford. They have done through such adversity this year, and it's the last half hour coming up of Bradford's season at Odsal. They have to give them something to remember for 2013 if they can.
Just going back to Hull then, the way we've seen them twice celebrate the defensive efforts, that's reminiscent of teams that go on to win the grand final. When you think about Leeds' remarkable journey to win last year's grand final, that was based on the back of an improved defence in the last 6 weeks of the year. And if you can improve your defence, we can see every team's got some try scorers in it.
Aspinwall takes it forward for Hull. Still 10 metres inside their own half of the field. The kick by Jeremiah is collected by Carney. And then in they come.
He's had a big game, hasn't he, Jeremiah? And so, as the second row, number 11, Willie Manu, he's been here, there and everywhere. 2 tries. He's been so creative as well.
Surrender. 3. Release. Wait it. Don't lift your hand in.
And hands in at the ruck by Hull. It's a penalty to relieve the pressure on Bradford.
Hand on the ball.
Yeah, just messing around, not allowing the man to get up and play the ball quickly. But the team spirit that was lacking a fortnight ago has certainly resurfaced.
Go on.
We mentioned the fact that a good performance against Widnes perhaps would have thrown down the gauntlet in the playoff situation. Well, this certainly has.
Here comes Kopczak again for Bradford. Trying to rescue something from the last half hour of this match. And no way through there for Elima. Jeremiah was all over him. There's Diskin. Diskin to Gale. Solid defence. Forcing the error once again, this time from Hargreaves. You know, when you look back in the record books, you'll see that 6 years ago this month, Hull entertained Bradford here for a place in the grand final at Old Trafford. And they won 19-12, but they lost to St Helens on the big night in 2006. And really since then, Hull FC have never been close. And but for a few injury problems that they have suffered this season, who knows what might have been. Let's hear from Graham Beecroft.
Yeah, problems on the replacements bench as far as Bradford are concerned. I told you before about Carl Price. Well, Chev Walker has also been off. He's had a bang in the ribs as well. He's been to the dressing room. He's back on the bench, but it does look as though they're limited in terms of replacements.
Houghton, meanwhile, has been deemed to have knocked the ball on here. It was stolen by Diskin. And then it was knocked on there by Houghton.
Stole it.
The result is that Bradford will get the possession from this scrum.
Out!
Well, Hull realise that they've got this game wrapped up. It's as simple as that, and Peter Gentle will get the message out. So, okay, we do not concede a try. This is a new game. This is a new attitude by Hull FC. And that is what they will be doing for the remainder of this match tonight. Keep that score as it is. Do not allow Bradford anywhere to get anywhere near that line.
Here's Diskin and Elima, good on his feet, Elima.
He's lost it.
He has.
No, knock up.
Marco Mealy was all over him and forced the error.
Well, when you're trying to get back into a game, obviously you have to take more risks, try things. Perhaps he didn't have control of the ball as he went to ground, and it's inevitable sometimes. A team chasing a lead can end up losing him by a bigger score because they've tried things which haven't come off and blown simple chances, which in the games when you're in front and ahead on the scoreboard, you maybe have a more patient approach and go on to score from it.
Form 8! Heads in!
Hull's head and feet, 10 metres away from their own line. Richard Horn doesn't make too much progress forward.
Hold it, he's going to hold the vein.
He'll be quite happy just to secure the possession. Been a very well drilled outfit on show tonight, the visitors, especially in defence, but some of the tries they've created. Oh, beautiful
play by Jordan Turner. Here is Foster, but he's gathered in by Carney.
He felt it as well, Foster. That was a real crash tackle.
Managed to get the ball away somehow there. Here is Ben Crooks.
Hold it here, Elliott.
Houghton waits just inside Bradford's half of the field. Here's Lynch. Back to Houghton, over the top, and he finds Westerman. Westerman then to Turner. Turner pokes his nose through, trying to get the arms free. Doesn't do so. Down he goes on the last. 17 metres away from the Bradford line. Houghton gives it to Seymour. Seymour then to Turner. Westerman gets it away to Foster. Foster back in field to Seymour. Seymour crossfield kick, looking for Ben Crooks. Oh!
That'll be a knock on.
Knock on by Hull, I think. A knock on by Crooks, I think.
No, I think he'll go head and feet to Hull, and it has.
Well, was this a knock on by Ainscough?
Yes, that it is.
You think that was a knock on?
Yep, it hit the player. It hit Ben Crooks, so therefore it's classified as a knock on.
I'm not sure that's gone forward off Ainscough. He certainly made contact with it. I'm not sure if it's gone forward anyway. The decision is made.
Well, if that was a knock-on, what was the miscatch by Lee Breers at Wembley last week?
We could go on and on and on about the officials.
No,
I hope not.
Hull have got the head and feed. They're not interested. Here's Jeremiah.
And a nice little short side play. I love to see teams trying to score from a scrum situation. You've got more space, less defenders. They didn't on that attempt. But it's again asking questions of the defence, and again a penalty here now gives them 6 more players right on their opponent's line.
Ken Briscoe wanted to take a quick tap. Official says get back. You will do it when I blow the whistle.
Okay.
Give themselves more space. And this is where the forwards try to line up. Is it Manu for the hat-trick?
Go.
Well, first of all, it's Lynch. Andy Lynch is driving it in, trying this fixture last year for the Bulls. O'Mealy will have a charge to the line.
He's had his best game for a while as the prop forward, O'Mealy.
Houghton's waiting at dummy half. Back it comes to Jeremiah. Jeremiah gets it to Manu. Manu gets it wide, and Briscoe gets his second try.
That is brilliant handling. That
Wonderful.
is brilliant.
Wonderful try from Hull. What a change that Peter Gentle has brought about in this team than the one we saw at the Stobart Stadium a fortnight tonight. Tremendous stuff from Hull. What will this do to Hull FC's playoff ambitions in 2012?
Well, it sent out the warning that they failed to do a fortnight ago. And that man on your right, okay, Briscoe has picked up the try, but Willie Manu has been outstanding tonight. Every time he's got the ball, has created all sorts of problems. Had the final pass, scored 2 himself, created 3, been involved with the 3 tries, quick hands, flipped it on like a good 3/4, and gave Briscoe his second try of the night. They're running away with it now with ease.
They are. They've topped 40 points for the first time since March when they beat the Castleford Tigers.
Well, the only 2 teams who've scored more than 40 are Castleford and Widnes, teams at the bottom of the table. But Eddie, we're asking an interesting question here. About 2 weeks ago, they were absolutely terrible. Good teams can play like this week after week. It's taken a dramatically embarrassing performance for them to get the best out of themselves. They won't always be in that situation. There's 1 round left and then the playoffs. Can they continue to play at this level without being embarrassed?
Kick from Foster, scrapes the post again. So it stays at 42 points to 6. And Tom Briscoe, 2 tries tonight. He's much more at home on the wing, isn't he? He was full-back for the 4 matches leading up to Widnes. And he looks much more at home, hugging the touchline here and scoring tries like that.
Yeah, that's his position, he realises it, but on that occasion, we've seen it far too often from Bradford tonight. See how the defence, some went up, some stayed back, like a dog's back leg, and you're always going to suffer. The winger coming out of the line, neat pass from Manu, and Briscoe does the rest.
It certainly hasn't been a collective effort, has it, Steve-O? But if you're a Bradford fan, you're going to look for perhaps positives in the future. Phil has just mentioned it, how bad Hull were in 2 weeks and what the reaction was to that. Will the Bradford Bulls fans see a similar reaction from their team when they go down to play the Catalan? The game will be on Sky next week. Will these players play to their true potential? Because that is not what they're showing tonight.
Here's Jeremiah, he's playing to his potential. So too is Richard Horn. Not the best attempt by Diskin, he got on the wrong side of him.
There's lots of ball.
It's a penalty, is it? No, it's a penalty for a high shot. Penalty for, and then back chatting, and then March 10. It was a slap across the chops.
Yeah, good job he didn't have his fist clenched. Otherwise, I think he might be getting an early shower. Flat hand, saved the day. But it will not prevent this Hull outfit coming up with a set pattern move.
Well, the slap in the face was 10 metres further downfield. Then there was a back chat to Ben Thaler, who's already told Bradford he's not having any of it. And that's why they begin this set of 6, 10 metres away from the line, and that's why O'Mealy is threatening to score another try here. Move! Aaron Jeremiah waits again, 5 metres away. Looping pass finds its way to Houghton, and his short ball to Aspinwall.
Good tactics as well. utilising Danny Houghton and Jeremiah.
Great ball from Jeremiah. Great try from Ben Crooks. Hull are running hot. Big smiles for Peter Gentle tonight. There was frowns all round a fortnight ago. But it's all come good tonight for the men from the KC Stadium. And Ben Crooks only found out he was playing about a half an hour before the kickoff when Kirk Eamon failed a fitness test in the warm-up. New 2-year deal signed last week by teenager Ben Crooks. And a try really that is very well worked again by this team.
Oh, great angle. Wonderful play. Just making the point, the combination, Jeremiah and Danny Houghton, both hooking positions, but the way that Ben Crooks came in on the angle totally confused this Bradford defence. It's been a nightmare for Bradford in that defensive line. They haven't been able to spot hardly anything, as I mentioned several times during this game, that this Bradford side, some move up, some on the other side. We saw in the first half where near their own line, both the 1 and 2 markers both went the same way. They're all simple errors, but boy, the Bulls have come up with a lot of those tonight. Can he add the extra 2?
Yes, he can. Jamie Foster. Well, the match is well and truly won. Hull have had a fantastic night in Bradford. Can I just mention something that's taking place at the West Hull Amateur Club ground tomorrow afternoon? The Bala Great Britain side, that's the amateur arm of the game, they're taking on the Army for the Joining Jack charity. That's in aid of Andy Johnson's little boy. It's at the Walter Simpson Park ground in Hull tomorrow, 2 o'clock kickoff, and we all hope it goes well for Joining Jack.
Yeah, worthy cause. You have to admire the Hull FC fans and their ability to park local rivalries. They're winning this game 48 points to 6 against Bradford, and the chant, "Are you watching Hull KR?" goes up. Never out of their minds, they're near city rivals.
I was a little bit worried for Hull side and their supporters when I saw Kirk Eamon pull out of the warm-up just minutes before this match started, because you know he has been one of the top players at scoring tries this year, and I thought, how can they get across the line often enough to beat Bradford tonight? But the combination of some excellent defence and I tell you what, attacking play that I just haven't seen from Hull this season at all has well blown me and blown the Bradford Bulls away.
You're right, Phil, mainly due to the fact that their top players have really shone tonight. Been some wonderful play from this fella, Tom Briscoe. Richard Horn has been in top form.
And what about the effort from this young man at dummy half, Ben Crooks?
Yeah,
he's got the penalty here, Tom Briscoe. Crooks played in the curtain raiser, the under-20s. He played a full match prior to this game. Obviously they're expecting Kirk Eamon to play. Crooks played 80 minutes for the under-20s, and then he was thrown a jersey for this one and said, you better get back out there because Kirk's got a problem. Well, what an effort from that young fella.
Yeah, he's certainly earned double pay, that is for sure. And they've made another break. This is becoming monotonous. It's a long time since I've seen Richard Horn make so many clean breaks during a game.
Does Ben Crooks get double time for a Saturday, do you think?
Get time off in the week, I think.
He deserves a day off, doesn't he? He's done 2 80s. Fantastic effort from him.
Can any of his teammates say they're tired in this game?
They're hunting 50.
Oh, to be 19 again, eh? Lynch
Danny
drives them in.
Danny Houghton, go dummy, go on your own.
I'll give it to Manu, and that was well watched in the end by Diskin. Houghton again, short ball, another try. Andy Lynch on his return to Odsall. Just rubs a bit of salt into the wounds, Andy Lynch. The ex-Bradford man, his first return, a try in this fixture last year for the Bulls. It was a 14-28 defeat on that occasion. Also a try in the home win against Hull in 2005-2008. A World Club Championship winner in 2006, the Bulls' last trophy. But look at this, what a moment for this fella.
Tremendous play. Danny Houghton utilised O'Mealy as the dummy. They thought O'Mealy was going to get it, but it was the other prop forward, Andy Lynch.
Number 10 on his back, and the 10th try for Hull in this game tonight.
He's had a good game as well.
A comprehensive victory this has been.
Is it ever? That says it all.
Don't think we're going to the playoffs is what those two faces seem to be saying. Foster adds the extras. It's a rout, I'm afraid.
Finally.
The bubble has been burst. Well and truly.
Sure has, but it's more importantly, if you're a black and white fan, is that they have shown tonight. I mean, there's been some wonderful performances. Willie Manu, Joe Westerman.
Give the man of the match to Ben Crooks for his double-time effort. Come on.
Aaron Jeremiah.
There's been some wonderful efforts from Hull. We'll need to focus on Bradford as well, because they're here at home and they've conceded 54 points. And there's very few players on that side, and they have some very good players in that team. There's very few players that'll be able to go home tonight, look themselves in the mirror and say they at least tried their very best. You try your very best and come off second best, well, nobody will criticise you. But they have not tried their best, some of these players, and that will disappoint their coach, and more importantly, it'll disappoint the players themselves.
Can anybody tell me, because all I do is observe this game, you three have all played it, how do you turn around a 40-odd point defeat 2 weeks ago to a 50-odd point victory tonight? How did it happen?
It's sport, Eddie. Things like this happen all the time.
Bradford have got to learn the lesson quickly, because if they go to Catalan next week and lose, it's all over. Oh, and this is becoming a procession. Jeremiah for the corner, gets his second try. He's wreathed in smiles, Peter Gentle. His face is wreathed in smiles, and supporters believe that Hull might have got out of jail.
Well, he was using some pretty choice adjectives last week, or 2 weeks ago, to describe his performance. Abject, mentioned before, was one of them. I'm sure he'll be a lot happier today. It really was a good try. It is a great performance, and Aaron Jeremiah, well, he's been central to that.
And yet another problem on this Bradford right-hand side. It's been a tremendous team performance. Good work from Tom Briscoe and Jeremiah, who's been outstanding. There's been so many stars. It's going to be difficult to pick a man of the match, because every single player wearing the black and grey with touch of white. Good hands. Didn't he do well there? Bit of a Lewis Jones double shuffle there, and Jeremiah said, I'm going in for my second. Running riot. Oh.
Well,
I'm going out in Hull tonight.
They are false.
There's the Whigs. There's nothing false about this performance from Hull. Foster missed with the kick. It's 58 points to 6. As I say, they are running very hot, and they could get even worse.
Yeah, it's good play. The combination and the enthusiasm. You know, the ball's going out left. Do you stop? No, you don't. You go down the middle, like any hooker should do.
And Steve-O, that play broke down 2 weeks ago. That was knocked on or dropped. It's a similar way that Bradford are doing it tonight. There's some Bradford players that don't make many mistakes that are making them tonight. So if you're a Bradford fan, you'd probably hope that they will go back to doing what they do normally next week against Catalan Dragons. They certainly will have to. Difficult place to go and a good team they're going to play against. But I would be confident they will not put in a performance as bad as this again next week.
Well, it's been a tremendous performance from Hull. I've already mentioned one very good charitable cause tonight, the Joining Jack match with the Bala team taking on the Army in Hull tomorrow. I think we should also mention that our esteemed executive producer, Mr. Neville Smith, is riding his bike. We've all been saying to him for the past 20 years, why don't you get on your bike? Well, he's getting on his bike tomorrow, and he's raising money for the Guide Dogs for the Blind Association. So all the very best to Neville for tomorrow. And at long last, we will all stop being pestered about sponsoring him, but we all have.
And if you're a paramedic working in the southeast of England tomorrow, I should say, don't take the day off. You might be on call.
How about a tenner that doesn't make it?
You always dig deep, don't you? So if he doesn't make it, you want your money back, do you?
Jay, you're offside! Jay! Back now!
Now he'll do it. 30 miles, nothing to a man of Neville's calibre on a bike. Been training for months. And Bradford have to train very hard this week to get back on the horse, get back in the saddle.
Well, he must have been doing it in secret.
So look where he's lost it forward. Play on, it's Mazzino.
Holler back in possession with O'Mealy. On halfway, down he goes.
Wait, mate. Sorry, hold it. Hold it.
It's Herremeyer at dummy half.
The game's over, the scoreboard tells us that. But another penalty here.
Here's another penalty.
A test for the concentration here now. I think Bradford, well, they're just looking forward to the next game. But for Hull, can you concentrate, regardless of whether the scoreboard says you've won or lost? And can you play with the same intensity that you began the game? So nice to see whether they've still got the timing and accuracy of the passing and attacking runs here that they're going to put in during this next minute.
Well, I said a few moments ago they were after 50. I think they're after 60 now. They're all geeing each other up.
Well, didn't they concede 70 here once in the playoffs not that long ago?
Yes, they did. Stephen Kearney got sent off that night, you may remember. It was 70 points to 0. Bradford cruised through in the playoffs. Kearney was sent off. It was his last ever appearance for the Black and Whites. Are we seeing a team here that's regrouped, regathered, and could make an impact on these playoffs and could get to Old Trafford?
Of course, they've displayed it tonight, but don't let's get carried away. Bradford have been absolutely abysmal in their defensive pattern.
And they could be in here again. Good hands. Foster is in, and they surpass 60 points. Jamie Foster. Well, he's been a tremendous loan signing. It's his second try of the night. He's kicked goals for fun. He scored tries, 2 of them tonight. And he's on a week-by-week basis. Interesting if Hull eventually end up playing the Saints in the playoffs, whether they'll allow him to play.
Great hands. He's had the time of his life as Danny Houghton. So is this fella, Richard Horn. Nice finish. Quick hands by Turner.
I suppose when you're winning by 60 points, all those passes stick, don't they? Your confidence is sky high.
And it's completely the opposite, as I say, for the Bradford defence. It's amazing. You know, Mick Potter obviously came out for this game. He said, let's blow them apart early in the match. They scored the first try. James Crooks went over. And it looked as though everything was going right. Put a bit of doubt back into the minds of this whole outfit. Remember, a fortnight ago, they got a real shellacking against Widnes. And if they would have scored maybe another try to that one, it could have gone against them. But 2 errors, 2 drop balls. Hull found themselves at the other end of the field. End of story, end of game. 2 points, 2 vital points for Hull FC.
Foster, can he add the extras?
Yep.
He can. It gets worse for Bradford. 64 points to 6.
Well, the tries they've scored have been exciting, and they've shown us they can throw the ball around, but it's Murphy's Law, isn't it? That the day the Bradford owner here, the new owners here, that his new team serve up their most unpalatable performance of the season, really. 64 points at home in front of your fans is disappointing. The bigger worry for both of these sides is the fluctuation in the scores, and Phil referred to that earlier. It's the inability to play consistently well week in, week out that will make me doubt that these teams could go to the grand final. Conceding 64 points, or scoring 64 points after you conceded so many 2 weeks ago is certainly a worry.
24 points of the 64, by the way, for Jamie Foster. He's trying to reinvent his career almost, because he hasn't played for St Helens since Royce Simmons left the building. And he was allowed to come on loan to the KC Stadium, and he's made hay. He really has. A talented player.
Well, was it on this ground that he almost was the end of his St Helens career,
yes,
perhaps, unless he goes back to play there in the future? And a decision, when I've watched that kick several times, I think many players, you know, on the wing would have allowed that to bounce and hope that it bounced over the sideline.
It's amazing, isn't it? There's another big turnaround, isn't it? The lad allowed the kick to go out, and St Helens lost. Royce Simmons, I think that's following week he lost his job as the St Helens coach. It wasn't Jamie Foster's fault, obviously, but from that moment, Jamie couldn't get into the St Helens first team, and he's come back, and he's, as I say, reinventing himself up at the KC.
Well, we're prone to overreactions, aren't we? The decision to let that ball bounce didn't make the boy a bad player, not at all, and didn't make Roy Simmons a bad coach. And this result, although it's terrible on the scoreboard and will disappoint anybody involved with the Bradford club, it doesn't make this Bradford side a terrible team. It's just a really, really bad night at the office. And everybody, as I say again, in all walks of life, are prone to such circumstances.
I just wonder if, you know, because of all the uncertainty over the past, well, we think it might be 5 months. It seems to have been 5 years. It's gone on for so long. I just wonder if a collective sigh of relief came in the dressing room. And they said, well, thank goodness for that. And they've just taken their eye off the ball tonight. Having said that, Hull have played really well.
Yeah, they have. Combination of both, Eddie. You got it spot on.
Jeffries.
Oh, just got ankle tap there.
Importantly by Jeremiah. Go. Elima and Gale.
3. Away!
Now then, 4 minutes to go. What resolve have Hull got in their defence? Jeffries, Elima again.
Don't let them score.
Here. And no chances taken by Richard Horne.
Now there's experience for you. Richard Horne knows after the blasting he got from his coach Peter Gentle against Widnes.
Time's off.
And I'm pretty certain that when I mentioned halfway through the second half, do not allow Bradford to score, and that's the reason why Richard Horne didn't take any gamble.
Well, they've had twice as much ball as Bradford in the second half, so they shouldn't really be tired. And obviously they've been scoring for fun here now. It's a nice test to finish the match here. Can they hold out for 6 tackles?
So here's Hargreaves. That's a great enthusiastic chase by Westerman.
Hold it in, Andy, wait! Go!
And I can tell you that Steve-O has named Ben Crooks as the man of the match. Well done to Ben. We won't have time to talk to him tonight, but you'll be able to catch up with that hopefully on Sky Sports News or on Super League full time tomorrow. We shall see. But he'll get a bottle of champagne, and he's 19, so he's old enough to drink it.
Hold it. Now.
But the double time man, he's done really well today, Ben Crooks. Might get a day off in the week, as Phil rightly said. And Hull here defending their line. Gale with the kick. And Briscoe picks it up for the black and whites. Well, since, what was it? It was the 3rd minute, wasn't it, that Bradford scored their try. Hull have repelled all borders, and now they have another penalty. The penalty count against Bradford must be alarming for Mick Potter.
Yeah, not the best by Elima. No, Elima was claiming that he tried to get round the side and saying, hang on, he's moved off the mark. He probably has a point, but nothing has gone right for them. It'll be a nightmare for Mick Potter trying to assess where things went wrong. Mistakes, missed tackles, far too many of those, and not as much enthusiasm in the forwards as we've seen from the visitors. As I must say, I've mentioned they really have shared the workload.
Good work once again from Jay Pitts. Down he goes. Solid tackling, but all a bit too late now for Bradford, sadly. Here's Lynch. Gets the ball away. Pitts into centre field to Seymour.
They want that 70, don't they?
3.
They've got a minute 20 and 3 tackles remaining to try and get it.
Hold! Go, Elliot!
We mentioned earlier on that they came here under John Keir, it was, I think, and they lost by 70 points to 0 in the playoffs. Richard Horne drills the ball all the way downfield. We're in the last minute. The game is won. It's over. 64 points to 6 to Hull FC. Head and feed to Bradford coming up. And Bradford form the scrum.
And as you can see,
form the scrum, they've called time off.
But in no rush.
And that's what he does.
They know
they have to be fair. Once the scrum is formed, they have to. But what's the point with 40 seconds remaining and 64-6?
Well, that's why they just trotted there, Eddie.
Back on.
It's mystifying sport, mystifying sometimes in rugby league, but you've got to take your hat off to the way that Peter Gentle has fired up his side.
Go.
They've played exceptionally well. There's not one bad player on the visiting side.
One of Bradford's heaviest ever home defeats this, 64-6, their worst, 66-4 by Saints in June 2005. Mick Potter, a bad day at the office. Such a sad end to what has been a very, very good week for the Bulls and the fact that they have new owners. Oh, hang on, Briscoe's away. And Briscoe is going to score the hat-trick try, and he's going to go over, and there's a chance that Hull will get the 70-point mark. Tries given without reference upstairs. Hat-trick for Briscoe. And it was frowns all round a fortnight ago. It's smiles all round tonight. And if Foster kicks this, Hull score 70 at the home of the Bradford Bulls.
And it's another error. Just couldn't keep hold of it. He has the speed. You remember this. Hat-trick time, it's always special in a player's career. Whitehead could not keep control. Ainscough tried his damnedest. But Briscoe knew, I've got the 3.
And the scoreboard operator has been kept pretty busy tonight, hasn't he?
You're talking about double time, he needs it.
He can't have a bottle of champagne, he doesn't look old enough for man of the match. 68 points to 6 at this moment. Foster to make it 70. And 70 points it is. They put a marker down for what's to come. That is for sure. They have been travel sick so many times in 2012, and this now becomes Bradford Bulls' heaviest ever home defeat in the Super League. They're dancing, they're happy. Hull are well and truly in the top 6. There's the scoreline, 70 points to 6. Not worth dwelling on it for the Bradford Bulls. Let's have a look at the table. Hull are safe and sound. Bradford are anything but. Wakefield can nip ahead of them tomorrow if they beat Widnes. And the door is also open for Hull Kingston Rovers, who are playing the Wigan Warriors. So it'll all go to the final weekend of the campaign. No matter what happens tomorrow, but Wakefield could give themselves a real lift if they beat Widnes. Widnes, though, anxious to avoid finishing at the foot of the table. Join us for that this Sunday evening, 6:30, Sky Sports 2 HD. A glorious night for the Black and Whites of Hull. 70 points to 6. They've dented Bradford's party.
Watch all 6 Sky Sports channels on your mobile and online.